Good afternoon, Dr. Mack. I'm so happy to see you again on this side of the intro.
Well, good afternoon, Pastor Shirley, and good afternoon, those of you who are uh, sh- allowing us to share with you, and we encourage you to share with us. Feel comfortable to give feedback, um, and if it's something that we would discuss later, at a later date, just give us some contact information, and we'll do that. We do sort of have a disclaimer. Um, we like to stay on air. Therefore, there are certain topics we will not go in depth with. But if you have something you want to know, we can handle it, but in a different manner.
Oh, yes. Yes, we can. Dear God, as we sit before you to speak, we pray to you that our souls you will keep. And if we should die before we finish, we pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. Dr.
Amen.
Mack, that was wonderful, wonderful intro. And like you said, we discuss great topics, but then they're tasteful, and we don't go past and beyond the tasteful.
Right.
And there are some things that we just don't desire discussing.
But we do encourage you to pray over them and think about
Yes.
them. Share with your friends. Share with the whole. I had a friend who recently passed, and he would always remind me of the definition of a church. A body of believers.
Hmm.
So, if you don't want to do that in that structured setting, find someone and share it. Who knows? That person with whom you're sharing may be the one that can open your eyes, or
Exactly.
or you can open theirs. But it has to be a two-way communication, and that's what we are encouraging you to do. We're
Yes.
not we're not here to advocate for one or the other, only for the Lord. Now that we will advocate for, but other than that, we're not going to do that.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Mack. Now we'll get into our discussion. Oh, they're so good. So, do you want to read, or you want me to read all of them?
If you'll read them all, because
Okay.
I'm getting used to my new location.
Okay. And
But
it's
I'll
nice too. I like it.
thank you. He's not through, um, because we'll pull it down for whatever he's doing, and on the 2 days I'll come in.
Uh-huh. That is wonderful. Her son is a technician. Well, what is his title? He's a video pro.
Yes, yes, he does a little bit of all of it.
Uh-huh. Audio, video, you name it. And it is a profession of his. All right. What is your initial reaction to the reviews of Vice President Kamala Harris's 107 Days book release?
Do you want me to take that one?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. All right. I am happy that she wrote a book,
Mhm.
but as I think to myself many times, maybe you should wait a little bit longer before you put it in print. And I realize this is her second book,
Mhm.
but starting with the symbolic tile, 107 days, and no one had to be told what that meant. She only had 107 days to run the campaign for president of the United States.
Yes.
I haven't read the whole book, but I've read the excerpts. I've read some of the reviews. Most of them were positive. There were only a couple that were negative, but I expected them to be negative from the source
Yes.
material. But she does acknowledge that Tim Walsh wasn't her first person that she thought of as a vice presidential candidate. She actually wanted Pete Buttigieg, because of his thinking, his liberal thinking.
Mhm.
And she did want him. But when you were running for those positions, you have committees, and those committees influence, what happens. That was something new. And she talked about for the first time, um, the communication that she had with President Biden and the fact that he called her just a few hours before she was to debate the presidential candidate on the other side, and it sort of upset her because the thing that he wanted to know is, have you been talking behind my back? Because that's what his brother told him, and I'm like, okay, you should know her better than that. She'd come face to face, and she mentions that and she explains that, and most assuredly, she talks about um, sometimes being left out of the conversations,
Mhm.
at the White House. But at the same time, she said I was going to do my best, and that's what she did.
That's what she
Now, do
did.
do I wish she had waited? But maybe she needed to get that out there for others. She's got money and she's going to make even more money because all of us have ordered a copy of the book.
Uh,
But what we like very much is we like the information that she's giving. And I like the information that she's not blaming anyone. She's just saying this is where, you know, this is how it was handled. I'm not saying I'm gonna do it again, and I'm not saying I will. But this is how I spent that 107 days and the time after that trying to deal with it. But
yes.
I'm looking forward to the whole book. I've been reading them since Jimmy Carter. That goes back that far.
Oh, yes, wonderful. And I am looking forward to it. I've already asked Audible, is it ready? And it's not ready yet.
Not ready. No, it's
Not
not
ready,
ready.
but
No, it's on
when
my
it does come, it will be in my collection. And then the other book, I think I'm going to put that in my collection too.
okay.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. I am
It's
looking forward to it.
good
And
reviews from the Atlantic, good reviews from the New York Times. And those are not people who just hand out reviews.
right,
So,
right. Oh, that's wonderful. So we're looking forward to this book. And then, of course, yes, other people have this habit of writing your on your life and your campaigns and your business. So I'm pretty sure she had a reason for getting it out here now, because I'm
yeah.
pretty sure after that, even though she's made her announcement, we'll hear something somebody else has in store that'll be coming out pretty soon. But I am looking forward to it, and she did a magnificent job in 107 days.
Yes.
I'm
Now,
telling you.
if we don't get anything else from that, just remember, because even her closest friends were saying, well, if he's not going to run, he should let you know.
Hmm.
And these were people that she trusted, you know.
Hmm.
But she comes back and she says she knew that decision would be a Biden family decision
Hmm.
because he did not want to come out of the race. He wanted to stay in.
Right, and that is the thing that goes on. They want to stay in there as long as they can. It's something, that power,
Yeah.
power. Yeah, people want to keep that power, and then also, and I understand that, but I thank God that he did step down. And then with this, people were feeding things into his mind also, and he was not
Yes.
well, and he's still not well. And when your body is weak, then that tends to weigh on your mind, and people can take advantage of that and put all kinds of things in your mind. And just like you were saying, that she said he asked her if she was talking behind his back.
Yeah.
Somebody could have put that in his mind.
His brother. She
Right.
she
You
she
said that, yes.
black women, and we'll call you out if we know who you are.
Telling
We
you.
will do it.
I'm
We will
telling
do it and think nothing about it.
you. Right.
That was his brother. And
Okay. Yeah, you said that, didn't you? Yes.
it hurt her. It
I'm
it
sure.
it threw her off her game, but I thought she had a magnificent debate.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, from her first remarks to the end, I did.
Right.
Just think of how great she would have been had didn't have that little tape playing in her head. That
Uh-huh.
because she was loyal to him,
Oh
to
yes.
Biden.
Right. Right. But I'm looking forward to it. 'Cause there's a lot more in there. That's
More
just
than
giving us just a little snippet of it.
that's true. That's true.
So next, in your opinion, do you believe that the revocation and the denial of visa to an unspecified number of business executives, let me get this, from India, is based on fact that they are involving? Oh my God! Let me try to get this. My mouse is moving too fast. So let me try to get this. Okay. Now, there we go. That now I want to start again. In your opinion, do you believe that the revocation and the denial of visas to an unspecified number of business executives from India is based on fact? They are involving trafficking drugs into America, or is it a punitive response to the fact that the tariff will remain at 50%, as well as the fact that the country is still buying oil from Russia? And I agree with the questions you asked. Yes, yes, it's not true. First, I would think it's not based on fact because we know the story of the person. Well, we can say his story. I'll say his story. We know
Okay.
his story of the person that is involved with this on this side of the pond. So, so I would
Okay.
say it's a bunch of made up rhetoric. And then, of course, there's always a chance that somebody in those in some groups or another is transporting or smuggling, but not the majority of these business people. I don't believe so, and I think it's because of he can't have his way.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right. And I think, again, we're seeing so much punitive reaction. And, we just had the Prime Minister of India over here a few months ago. And then when they didn't sign the tariff like he wanted, and so
Mhm.
now this is my way to put some pressure on you. I won't let your business executives, and we do a lot of business with India. You don't think about the clothes and the shoes. I mean, we import a lot of things from India. So
Yes.
um, this is a way to, as you said, to make your feelings known in the harshest way. And the drug
Right.
is supposedly fentanyl. And, we had not heard about the production of fentanyl in India to a great extent. You know,
Hmm.
we've talked about it coming from China through Mexico or China through Canada, but we're
Hmm.
not saying India. And I'm not saying that they're not doing it, but I agree with you. You know, there may be someone doing it, but it's not being done by the businessmen who are going to lose their livelihood. They want the U.S. dollar.
Hmm. Yes, ma'am. And it takes me back to the scripture: as he thinketh in his
His
heart,
heart,
so
so
is he.
is he. I live
Exactly.
with that one. I live with that one. And that
Yes, ma'am.
sort of keep me from thinking the things. You know where I'm saying.
Because we know the history.
Oh wow, touche, touche.
All right. Do you agree with Jasmine Crockett's comments regarding Cash Patel's
Yes.
qualifications as FBI director? And we're supposed to believe that you are the greatest thing since sliced bread.
She
Oh,
said that. She
oh, I saw her comments yesterday. Oh, do I agree with it? I guess people do want us to think that as a matter of fact, the whole group, they want us to think they're the best thing since sliced bread. So I agree.
Well, he did say, Cash Patel did say, I'm keeping, the country is safer than it's ever been in the history of the country. And I'm thinking, okay, first of all, that's an awkward statement. And second of all, it's not true, you
It's
know. But it takes someone like Miss Crockett to say, honey, you're not the best thing since sliced bread. But then
right.
the whole Judiciary Committee, he doesn't have a lot of allies there. Heck, he doesn't have a lot of allies in the Republican Party. They're wanting him out. They're wanting, different ones, cabinet persons. We've talked about their qualifications. You know, come on. You're not the best, but you gotta have someone to just put it out there. May not have been the nicest thing she could have said because immediately we know that's something we say. And I say it often, honey. you know,
Oh
you're
yeah,
not
she told him now. Some of
yeah,
the things when she was saying that he didn't have the experience. Now he does not have the
he
experience of
does
an
not.
FBI director, but he has been in and around several of those positions, like in law enforcement. I think he was wasn't he an attorney
Yes,
and some
yes.
different things like that. And so while she was talking, somebody said no, and then of course, after she yielded her time, then another man read the things that the guy had done, and then while Miss Crockett was doing her theatrical performance or something like that, the
Well,
other man said, one of her colleagues. But then the also this Patel,
yes,
he said, I don't give a,
I
use the
know.
about what other people I'm, and it's just, and I'm pretty sure he's gloating on being able to say that to her, because they are, many of them just do not like her because of who she is, because she's very intelligent, very informed, and she is great at her job.
Well, listen, they're like I said, he's not the most popular of the persons in those
Right.
um, in those positions right now.
Right.
But I just sometimes you need someone who's been there in that department and understand um, what goes on. And I
Hmm.
mentioned this before. There was an adage in industry a few years ago: a new
Hmm.
broom sweeps clean. But
Hmm.
you might want to understand why things are the way they are before you start cleaning out or
Hmm.
putting someone in there. The worst mistake that's made in industry is that new broom that sweeps clean.
Hmm. And then some people don't know how to sweep. I remember a friend of mine told me, and it was like, I know she was telling the truth. She said her daughter, they gave her a broom. She was supposed to start sweeping, and she started pushing the broom like it was a mop. Like she didn't know what to do with it.
And I think that's where we are. We have people in there trying to mop and sweep
It's
instead of
with the
sweeping,
broom.
right? Instead of sweeping.
Oh
Bec-
my
Because
goodness.
you're not going to get anything done if you're using that broom as a mop.
As a mop.
It won't
Right.
work. It will
Is
not work.
not as efficient as a mop and won't do a mop.
That's
I
good.
tell you, she
That's
did.
good.
She told me that, and it is so funny.
Yes.
Okay. Why did Mayor Johnson say he voted against the $5.2 billion City of Dallas 2025 budget?
Well, I when I heard that we had the 11-3 vote, and I saw his reaction, when they did the video clip at 1 a.m. in the morning, 'cause they started at 9 or 10, and they went all the way through because they were determined to pass that budget. But his that was the only thing. It matches the question that you asked about property taxes. He thought that enough had not been done for the
Right.
citizens of Dallas, Texas, regarding the property taxes, the lowering,
Hmm.
because that is one of the things he campaigned on.
Hmm.
That they were going to work to do that. But
Hmm.
when we get to your question regarding property taxes, we'll be looking at why they said they had to raise them.
Hmm. Right. And he also said it was let me packed or crowded. It was too much in there. And he said that
Yes,
they didn't take time to go through everything like they should have, and they passed it prematurely. So
yes.
he didn't agree with that.
Wanted
So,
to spend a little more time, but they had had quite a few months to go through it. But
hmm
when you made your comments earlier during one of the podcasts about the bill that came out of DC, it had so much in it. No one has actually read all the
right.
things that are there, and that's basically what Mayor Johnson is saying about Dallas. We've got all these little subsections.
hmm
We might want to take a better look at them
hmm
and see if this is really what we want to pass. Is this
hmm
really what we want to do?
Right. Did this one put their little bit in there? That one put their little bit, put it in there amongst all those pages, and so it might be building a doghouse for somebody with
Well,
golden doghouse. What is it? Laced in silver, and all that kind of stuff. They don't know what's in there,
it's
and
too
I didn't see how many pages it is, but
No, I don't think I've read, but from 9 a.m. in the morning to 1 a.m., I mean, that's a lot. And you're tired. At this point,
oh yes,
those persons who have attitudes, that started to show for sure. The disagreements became more vocal,
oh yes,
and no
oh
one
yes.
wanted to give up that position.
Mhm.
This is, I want to save this library here at Skillman. We're telling you we're not. Well, I want to close all of the 9 pools in the city. It's going to be just as hot next summer as it is now.
Exactly.
And rather than close and do something, because
Right.
kids love to spend time at pools in the summer. But if
Exactly.
you, are you going to close them all or just some? I mean, that was all in the doghouse that we
Uh-huh.
don't really know about.
Lots of pork in there, as they
Yes,
call it.
plenty of
Hmm
pork.
He said it's too loaded. I think that's the word he used. Too loaded. Okay. Which with less than 20 days now we have, what is it, 6 days?
6 is 6. I thought about it
Mhm.
this morning. It's 6 days.
Mhm. Left until Big Tex welcomes, and they stood him up today. They said he
Yes,
would be
they did.
standing up by 10 a.m. They had him standing tall too. So with less than 6 days left on Big Tex welcoming Big Tex is welcoming fairgoers to Fair Park in Dallas. Oh, here I am. Let me come back. I'm using that mouse and it's speeding. Okay, here we go. Okay. With Big Tex, the Fair Park in Dallas, the State Fair of Texas announced that it will no longer provide, and we did talk about this on the last webcast, I believe, free tickets to high school students beginning uh, the upcoming 2025 season. And the fair says it is one of the few fairs in the country that provides an expensive school ticketing program for free admission for students and teachers within a 100-mile radius of Fair Park. So, free admission will continue for pre K through grade 8 students and all teachers for those grades. However, the admission will no longer be available to high school students, uh, grades 9 through 12. Do you agree with changes? Why or why not? Well, if the budget needs to be adjusted and this helps with the budget, then they have to do what they have to do. And then also, I think there are other uh, factors in here too about cutting down on maybe some petty crime,
Hmm.
and then not as many will go if they don't have free admission. So I think they thought this out, and they've had many reasons for doing this thing. So if it's what helps the fair to go smoother, especially with the budget and maybe with the safety and all of that, I'm all for it, because I might be walking out through there a few days from now, going through there to get, or else get me one of those carts and drive on through there and get me a turkey leg and what's the funnel cake
Yes.
and and
Nachos.
and
Nachos.
oh yes, and then they have some new
Yes.
treats this year, so I'm excited. But I think I told you and I told the audience the last when I went through there. I think it was the last time
Yeah.
I got on the train, rode the train over there. Then when I got into the fair, I went zoom, 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 zoom. I had targeted, I had my places I wanted to go, what I
Right.
wanted to get to eat, and then came right on out after I got that and got back on the train and came on home and got on the bus and came on, and they let me off right here at home.
Well, we did talk about it, with the new security measures.
Uh-huh.
The fact that this year's the first year they're asking for clear backpacks. Uh,
Yes.
but regarding the one with the high school students, well,
Uh-huh.
according to the fair, uh, a very small percentage of the high school students were actually using the free tickets. You know,
Oh.
yes, it cost a lot. You get, and then a lot of the second reason was that a lot of school districts within this 100-mile radius had taken the fair days off for the high school students. And one of the reasons they took it off, they took it as an additional study day or an
Okay.
additional what do they call, professional development day.
Okay.
You know, so which would only impact the teachers, but the kids were really technically not going.
Going
Now, before you say, "Oh, that horrible committee at the State Fair of Texas," they aren't giving free tickets; they are giving discounted tickets, and the discount ticket for this year is $12,
mm-hmm.
and it gets them in. It's a pass that gets them in, and they can use it as they like. But I understand not, you know, buying those tickets, printing those tickets up, and then not really having them used. Now, do you
Right.
see a lot of high school students out there? Yes, because people come from all over the state to that fair,
Right.
all over. So you're going to see a bunch of high school students. And you're going to have a lot of high school students who are going to say, "This is a tradition in my family."
Mm-hmm.
They are. They're going to say, "Well, I would go and watch my little brother, sister." Um, but it's just one of the changes. And
Yes.
if they had really used the tickets, it wouldn't have occurred. But I understand buying something and it not, it's like you giving me a gift and I don't use it.
Don't use it. And then what about your schools, like your students? Did they take advantage of it? Did the majority or not?
Oh, heck yeah. Any day out of class, they didn't care. And then on that day, I would go as soon as the fair opened and be gone by the time they got there because they could sleep late. They could sleep late. I just go early, get what I was going to get, see what I wanted to see, and get the heck out. But
But you were there, right? That's right.
and I always went for the State Fair Classic. So that
Oh,
was a big
yes.
deal with me, the bands and the concerts and that kind of thing.
Which is next Saturday.
Yes, it is. It's
Hmm.
the 100th-year anniversary.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, that's some kind of history.
Oh,
Truly, it
yes.
is. And
My
I promise
goodness.
you, the persons I like to call of the Silver Age, they'll be there with t-shirts faded, but and caps
I
not.
know you still have yours, don't you?
Oh, yes, yes. And caps on crooked.
Grambling.
Yes. And looking for a cart.
No, that's right. Oh yes, that's an exciting time, and I haven't been to one of those games yet. But
It's fun. It's
yeah,
just
oh
like,
yes, yes, and so
yeah.
Anyway, but it is televised, right?
Now, well, we won't see it in this area.
Oh,
Mm.
okay. So that
The
makes us
the
good to go
Gremlins
there.
Southern game is televised nationally.
Okay.
That's
Hmm.
the Bayou Classic, but this
Yes.
one is the State Fair Classic.
Okay. Okay. So, all right then. Well, everybody, that's exciting time. And and
Yes,
people, most people go. Well, I won't say most,
I,
but many go
it's
for
true. It's true. After halftime, it empties out. There are a lot of band members and ex-band members and things like
Oh, it's wonderful. And this is 100 years.
100
Oh
years.
my goodness, that is so exciting. All right, now we go. What do you think of the property tax exemption increase included in the $5.2 billion budget of Dallas? Seniors and from disabled from the budget changes. The cut is from 153,400 up to $175,000. So if your property is worth $218,750 or less, no city taxes are required.
Right.
So what do you think about that? I think it's good, but then you still have those county and those school taxes.
Well, we have to, put that little in there. But here was the rationale for doing that. Basically, they want to make sure that they take care of the infrastructure for the city of Dallas.
Hmm.
They had made the promises. They promised to hire more police and
Hmm.
firemen, and that was a safety issue that
Right.
had to be dealt with. They promised to take care to make sure that the roads, the streets, the potholes that we complain about were
Oh,
taken care of. You know,
right.
Just- they wanted to do, and that was Mayor Johnson's big deal.
Hmm.
We want to take care of the citizens of the city of Dallas.
Right. Right.
Have the money to do that. I like that little quote he used. We had these little things he said that we could have, not done, or could have they could be done later,
Uh-huh.
but we have to increase it because this is what we need to do.
Right. And so, and then happy are the seniors and the disabled for that little help.
Oh, well, I think it's a lot because their medical bills. You're dealing with insurance companies. You're dealing with doctors whose billings are not always accurate. They have so much to deal
Mhm.
with.
Not always in favor of the patient, huh?
That's a really nice way to say it. A really nice way to put it.
Oh yes. So that budget, I think well, hopefully
It's
it'll be
it's the
well.
biggest in the history of Dallas. five
Oh
point
yes.
two billion dollars.
And the policemen, I think their salary starts at 83,000 a year, right? I
I'm not
think it
sure
was
what the number,
83,000 a year. I believe that's what it is. And
but
then the fire department uh, people too. So
they're competing now. Right next door, Fort Worth. They're competing with Fort Worth, and they're
mhm,
competing with heck Trophy Club, believe it or not, or the
mhm,
Colony. They're competing. You can go to a smaller city with less problems and get paid a really nice salary and go home at the end of the shift. Take care of yourself out there. I'm thinking about that police show that had that guy, the sergeant, say that all the time.
mhm.
Um, or they can come here. So you've got to make that salary attractive because
Right.
they get trained in the city of Dallas and they go out to the suburbs.
Hmm.
That's what happens. No, and
Yeah.
it's longer lifespan expected. So,
And let's see how many might go on to Fort Worth now. Also,
oh, I'm pretty sure there'll be some who's going to follow him.
yes.
They were sad when he left.
Hmm.
Um, they're going to go, and it's a commiserate salary. It's not too bad. I think Arlington is right in there as far as pay scales go. And I
Mhm.
understand that because you've got the entertainment district in Arlington.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, you've
yeah.
got all the look what's gonna happen when FIFA comes. You know, it would be a good it's going to be a good test on transportation and
Hmm.
safety.
Hmm.
Definitely. I hope all goes well.
Oh yes, yes, and it will because they're planning to be prepared for it. That's why they're getting all this money and all that straightened out for right now. So
That's true.
uh-huh, yeah. So, but okay, now the STAR test starting in 2027 through 28 will be replaced by three shorter tests. What are your thoughts on this? And this was especially because I wanted to hear what you think about it, Dr. Jack.
Well, I'm going to tell you that I think the new ruling is better. You have short term learning that occurs, and
Hmm.
that's just with anybody. For those persons who will say, well, them kids ought to remember. No, they don't. They
Hmm.
do not remember. Heck, if you can get their attention for 20 minutes, you've done something. So by
Yeah.
having the benchmark test, that's what they're called,
Okay.
interim test, it's better for the kid. You're measuring what they should have learned in that period of time,
Hmm.
and they are promising results within 48 hours. I don't believe
Okay.
that. I don't believe that part of it. Excuse me. But I just think it's better. There's so much pressure. And this way, you're alleviating some of the pressure. And guess what? You're going to be able to test what you taught within that block of time, not
Uh-huh.
all year long. It won't be
Okay.
there
You're
all year
right.
long. It's fairer to the students, it's fairer to the teachers.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's neat. And so, what is the time that they usually get back to the students with the results?
Oh my goodness, you take the test. I think they start testing in February.
Hmm.
And you don't get the results back until May or June.
Whoa.
So you're sitting on teachers. There's some teachers who are going to be sitting on whether their contracts are renewed. You have
Okay.
kids who are, well, you know, I gotta pass this. I gotta pass it because they want me to pass it at home. They want me to pass it. It's just too much pressure.
Hmm.
And let's just tell the truth. Hoffman Mifflin, the lobbyists, made a lot of money off
Hmm.
that test. And by the way, Mayor Johnson, one of the things that he said, well, they did cut out was the lobbyists that the city of Dallas has. They had
Uh-huh.
3 or 4. They're paying an uh, astronomical amount of money to go to Austin. And his thing is, well, heck, we have people on the city payroll that we're already paying a salary to do the same thing. So we're going to be sending them to Austin and
All right.
get rid of the professional lobbyists
That
because
makes sense.
they make a lot of money.
Yes, ma'am.
A
Yes,
lot of
ma'am.
money. And they just hang around in the lobbies and pay for lunches, and, you know,
Hmm.
just the crooked continuing to be crooked kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think the interim test will be better.
Okay. Thank you for that. I wanted to hear what you have to say. Okay. Two bills related to crime in Washington, D.C. were passed by the House, and we know they have to go to the Senate. The
Yeah.
first one is it wait a minute. No, what is that? Loosens restrictions on police car chases. And the second one, we have some more, but these are two of them.
Hmm.
And the second eliminates the Judicial Nomination Committee. And all this is designed to give the person
I know.
more power.
Right.
And like Jasmine Crockett was saying, this reminds her of what is it, Slave Patrol?
I didn't
Uh,
see the
yeah,
quote.
she them the National Guard and those extra people up there patrolling the street. She says like slave patrol. She said that's how the police department started, patrolling the slaves, and she called it that. Uh, and so now it gives more power to
Yes.
him, and he's not even doing what he's supposed to be doing. And then he's trying to control every single thing, everything. And this right here is taking this from the Judicial Nomination Commission, and
Mm-hmm.
then losing those restrictions on car chases, and it's all pointed toward the 42% of our people of African persuasion in DC, and that's the majority because 32%, I think, are of Hispanic uh, persuasion, and then there's a mixture of other in there, and so we have the majority
Right.
there. And though everywhere that he's sending these people and policing these states and cities is where our people have the most uh, influence. I guess we'll put it like that. So I think I think it's terrible.
Well, what you have is a shift in power, you know,
Right.
and the fact that Washington D.C. is not a state
Exactly.
makes it easy for that to happen. And you've
Exactly.
already set the precedent
Hmm.
for this kind of legislation. And one of the things that bothers me, and we have these House bills that we're talking about that's
Hmm.
already gone through, is um, these are changes that affect the citizens of DC, the people who
Exactly.
actually live there. And I mentioned it before, around the White House in that area,
Hmm.
that's called capital city, you know. But
Hmm.
Washington D.C. is out there where the regular people live. You have the
Uh-huh.
suburbs of Anacostia, which was predominantly black, but it was the time we were living there. It was transitional. It used to be all black.
Hmm.
D.C. was called Chocolate City.
Hmm.
It was called Chocolate City because of that. People went 40 acres and a mule, you know.
Hmm.
But what it tells me too is that there's a sense of I will be here permanently, so I have to clean it up and make it right for the people from other nations that's going to be coming in. We can't have graffiti. We can't have the homeless. You didn't want that anyway, but you did have it. However, the National Guard and the DC police have been directed, you know, and they have moved a lot of homeless shelters. Um, but there are a lot of people who just don't want to go in the shelters. You and I both know that. They'd
Right.
rather, they have mental issues, so they're not going to want to go. But
Mm-mm.
these house bills that are being passed, basically being forced,
Right.
because they're passing the Senate with sure approval in the House. So you see this happening, and it's targeting a certain population.
And that is people of our persuasion.
And now remember this one that we're talking about, the car chases and the restrictions.
Hmm.
We're saying that, right now, if a child commits a serious crime at age 16, he can be tried as an adult.
Okay, now
And
that's the
the,
uh-huh.
and the new bill says age 14,
Hmm.
you can be tried as an adult.
Right.
If you're 15 and younger, you can be tried as an adult. And it even goes through and it lists the kinds of crimes that, they're hideous crimes and you don't
Hmm.
want it to happen to anyone. But you see the targeted demographics that's there. Um,
Exactly.
and it spells a fear to me. I'm afraid of this particular segment of the population
Right.
that they're going to do damage to me.
Right. Right. And I talked about that fear, but people don't understand if they don't want to understand a certain thing. They're afraid of it, and so what they want to do is dispose of it or
Mhm.
control it.
Control it.
And so
This
that's
pure
what the
control.
thing
Pure
is. And I want to show that I can do this, but it's not going to be like it's expected to be
No.
from the ones who are initiating this, because time is there's a limit on all of this. There's a limit. So we're getting into this, talking about the 14 to 16-year-old. What do you think of the House's passing of the Juvenile Sentencing Reform Act? That's what they call it,
Right.
Juvenile Sentencing Reform Act, which lowers the age for trying juveniles as adults for certain violent crimes from 16 to 18, as you stated.
Mhm.
And so it's just, I mean, it's targeted to a certain group. Targeted, we're targeted. That's what it is. Control. Trying to do this is anyway. Okay. Now, Dr. Mack, you want to say anything else about that?
Well, this has a formal title. It's House Bill 4922, and
Mm-hmm.
this is the 119th Congress, and
Mm-hmm.
and basically it's a federal crackdown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where it's called Make Everyone Safe Act kind of thing, and what they're doing is taking away any authority or anything like that that the DC government government had, and they're putting it under federal law, and they're
Uh-huh.
making these laws so stringent, and
Mm-hmm.
they're basically designed if a between the ages of 20, well, first it was 24 years old, but now if you commit a certain crime, you it can go down to 18 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and you can be prosecuted as, as an adult, because legally you're an adult at 21,
Right.
but they're saying 24, and the
Mm-hmm.
penalties are very, very harsh. We're not
Mm-hmm.
talking um,
Exactly.
and during this 89 Texas legislature, we had some similar but not the same um, bills brought
Mm-hmm.
up, but were not signed by the governor.
Right.
So we're seeing a
Right.
trend. We're
Right.
seeing a trend.
It's a trend, and he's trying to get it initiated. All the supporting heads that are, in that organization. I call it organization. They wear the red hats with the white writing on it with the full letters. Okay. Now
Well,
you got into number 5, which is called the DC Crimes Act
yes,
bill.
that's it.
Uh-huh. It was also passed
Yeah, it
by
passed.
the House,
That's
and they
right.
still have to go to the Senate. But if we
It's
know
gonna
how,
pass.
and then we had uh, Democrats that uh, voted for these. And one, there were 8, and then I think there were 4 for one. Anyway, Democrats crossed over and voted for these things. The DC Crimes Act bill is also passed by the House, and it prevents the DC taking that, what do you say, shift of power?
Hmm.
It prevents the DC Council
That's right.
from altering sentencing laws and limits judicial
That's right.
discretion for offenders under 25,
Right.
reducing the age threshold for leniency to 18. It also eliminates provisions that allow youth offenders to receive sentences below mandatory minimum. So take them and lock them up and throw away the key.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember sharing with you that I work with a person who used
Hmm.
to tell the kids they are building prison cells for you. They didn't know
Exactly.
you were coming along, but they knew someone like you were coming along.
Right,
And
right.
in the state of Texas, that led to the privatization of prisons. And that led
Exactly.
to corruption because, the state's going to pay you according to the number of inmates
Hmm.
that you have. But what this bill does is it says, okay, the federal government is going to be making that decision, not
Exactly.
not the DC council or any of that.
Not
They
even the
take it
judges.
right. In fact, the emphasis was placed on the judges to remind them, we want these
Right,
folks locked up. And
right,
you've heard that kind of rhetoric before.
right.
We want them locked up, throw away the key.
Exactly.
Again, underlying what? Fear. Like I
Hmm.
said, this is looking like it's going to be a long-term situation, not a short-term situation. I'm going to clean out everything and everybody that offends. I'm going to punish anyone who offends. You know, I
Hmm.
just want gold leaf around everything, even
Hmm.
though it doesn't.
Even though I don't have one around me, and I,
Right,
yeah,
right.
it's terrible. And when I first started uh, Point of View, which was back in 2011. I don't know. It's been so many years ago. One of my first webcasts was on institutional slavery. And that's exactly what you're talking about. They're institutionalizing slavery. And it back then it was talking about how they start like from the I think the third grade, they look at these children and they start building institutions, looking at these children at third grade, and so that they can be able to house them
That's right.
when they get into trouble in the future.
Yeah.
They take their figures and everything and they base it on it. And I think it said they start looking at them at the third grade, and then they start building these prisons based on an estimate of how many of these children are going to be institutionalized and be slaves.
Well, you can actually build a profile. I mean, they,
Hmm.
they have the models to build a profile. And what irritates me more than anything else is
Hmm.
that uh, the young ones play right into it. You know,
Exactly.
they just keep walking that path that's going to lead them right there. And once they go in there, they are not going to be the same when they come out.
No, they're not. And
They're
then,
not.
right. And then another thing, if they're doing the preparations and they say, okay, starting at third grade, then that has a lot to do because sometimes they're assisted because of how they're treated
Amen.
in the schools. You know how some of those people in those schools
Yes, I
don't
know.
treat children like they should be treated. And then that grooms them. I would say it like grooms them, and it causes them to go another path. And then that's okay with the ones who are building the prisons.
It's
They
it's
want it to be like
income.
that.
It's going to be more money to them.
Yes, ma'am.
My thing is they use the term the students drop out. No, students don't drop out. Students are pushed out. Young
Oh,
people are pushed out. You give them a self-fulfilling prophecy.
mm-hmm,
See, I don't go with that. The only prophecy I'm going to talk about is the one that's given in the Bible. But you
mm-hmm.
give these kids, I used to hate them say, well, your daddy was this and your mama was that and your grandpa was that. This is a new individual created in the image of God,
Right,
given free will,
right,
on free will, but needing, please understand, but needing a community around
right,
them was going to shape and protect. And
right.
that's where we're falling. We're falling short of the shaping and protecting part of it.
Oh, yes, ma'am. And then sometimes it's so organized, and they're so determined to get these children at an early age to, like you said they pushed out
Yeah,
because
they're pushed out.
they do the things. And and everybody, this is Dr. Mack. She has how many years of experience in education?
35.
And you principal, teacher, you have held many positions, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. And so she knows exactly what she is saying. She's seen it over and over again. And there are the good ones like her that try and try. And I know that she's been blessed to be a positive influence to some of these children. And I know they appreciate her.
Well,
And I appreciate you.
well, I'm just going to give it back to you and the counseling that you did with the students who were discouraged, who were about to switch pathways, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and your words and your prayers kept them
Mm-hmm.
going on the right pathway. It's so easy. They
Oh,
make it so easy.
Mm-hmm.
to get on the wrong pathway.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And it's well, it's intentional.
Yeah, it's just like these
Mm-hmm.
bills are intended. You know, a 14-year-old, let's just think about 14 years, kid who's 14. That
Mm-hmm.
kid is really not ready to make major decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Although in some countries, you can be recruited in the army at 12.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's mandated military service at 12.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have that. So our kids they're not trained with that kind of mindset. Not
Right.
making excuses because everybody owns a bite of that pie. Everyone
Right.
owns it. And,
Right.
he who lives in glass houses should not throw
Throw stone.
stones.
That's
Shouldn't.
right. That's right. Oh, this has been wonderful, Dr. Mac. Another wonderful day of the Mother's Board Inc. We appreciate everybody for being here. Dr. Mac, would you like to give some more comments or advice to our audience?
Well, let's just say that we are thankful that the Cowboys are doing well.
Oh,
We
yes.
we are hopeful for the Texas Rangers, and in a way, we are so blessed that the Wings are done for the season, except for the All Star. And the Stars start practice this week, so we have a lot to look forward to,
Uh,
and we want to keep going and just keep everything sort of in its place. And I
right.
invite you to join me on Wednesdays for the webcast from the Biblical Files of Dr. Mack. We are in the book of Joshua,
All right.
and we'll be looking at women in the Bible. We're going to look at those 5 women who stood at the door of the tent and demanded something unheard of. We're
Yes.
going to take a look at Caleb, the great African warrior who became a confidant of both Moses and Joshua.
All right. Wonderful, wonderful. And everybody, please, that's Wednesday at 1 p.m. live, right here, right here. Okay. So please join me tomorrow evening, God willing, at 7:30, well, which is Saturday, depending on when you're watching us.
Right.
But on Saturday evenings at 7:39 p.m. and Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. is Greater Gospel Temple Church of Praise and Worship and Inspiration of God Ministries. On Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. is Point of View
Point of
with
view.
Shirley Polk. And on Monday mornings at 7 a.m. is Monday morning 5 minutes of prayer. And I keep it to 5 minutes and not much over and not much under. So just pray and we need our prayer now. And I would also like to announce that in a few days I'll be releasing at least two what we call ditties, Ditty, which is a short song. And so I have two of those in the works. And I'm also working on the book, which would be a few more days coming out. It'll be published. Uh, the Steps of a Good Man are ordered by the Lord at Step Good Man Step. And it's the first of several, what should I say, editions,
Yes.
the life of Elder Superintendent Kelly, Pastor Kelly Davis. And the first one is going to talk about us together a little bit. So it's going to be really, really good. So, everybody, I want you to be ready to get your copies. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for being with us. We love you and we appreciate you. And just continue to share these webcasts because somebody needs to hear what we're talking about. We love you, everybody. Love you, Dr. Mac.
Bye bye.
Okay.